I know your commitment to free speech. I respect that because I think it's an integral. It's the foundational thing of democracies, really. But I also know your opposition to anti-Semitism. You've spoken about it, tweeted about it, and all I can say is I hope you find within the confines of the First Amendment the ability to stop not only anti-Semitism or roll it back as best you can, but any collective hatred of a people that anti-Semitism represents. And I know you're committed to that. I hope you succeed in it. It's not an easy task, but I encourage you and urge you to find a balance. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, I think generally, I'm sort of against attacking any group. Doesn't matter who it is. I'm in favor of that which furthers civilization and which ultimately leads us to become a spacefaring civilization, and where we understand the nature of the universe. So we can't do that if there's a lot of infighting and and hatred and negativity. So obviously I'm against anti-Semitism. I'm against really anything that is that promotes hate and conflict. And I'm in favor of that which helps build society and take us to a better future for humanity collectively. So, and now this sometimes is this like, I think one can actually argue that really everyone should have this view. All it requires is long-term thinking. And if you're long-term thinking, you say like, okay, well, so basically you can say like, even if, hypothetically, if someone is, say, completely self-centered, well, it's like, well, how would you feel about if you didn't have civilization? It's very easy to figure that out. Just go into the forest with nothing and see how long you want to live there. Just watch an episode of Naked and Afraid. And
see how long you live. You may die very quickly.
Yeah, no, exactly. So it's like civilization turns out is pretty nice, actually. We may quibble about civilization, but it's easy to experience not civilization by just going into some place where there are no people and seeing what it's like, and you very quickly come back to civilization. So. Unless you're Ted Kaczynski or something, So you like living in the forest. So yeah. So now free speech does at times mean that someone you don't like is saying something you don't like. If you don't have that, then it's not free speech. Now that doesn't mean some sort of negativity should be pushed upon people, because for the X platform, unless it's interesting, entertaining, engaging, then we will lose users. People will want to not use our system if they find it to be unpleasant. Our overarching goal for the X platform is to maximize unregretted user time. So if you spend half an hour on the X platform, did you learn a lot? Were you entertained? Did you perhaps laugh a little bit? In fact, I find it to be the best source of humor. I laugh more on stuff that I read on X than everything else combined. So, I think that's a good thing. But it's also important to bear in mind that there are 550 million monthly users, now going to maybe 600 million monthly users, and any given day there's on the order of 100 to 200 million posts to the system. This is a lot of material. So in amongst the 100 or 200 million, and I'm excluding retweets or reposts, as I say, new wording. Some of those are going to be bad. It's impossible to say, and you can't police it in advance, but you can say after the fact, oh, it's getting reported as hate speech. Okay, well, we're going to de-amplify. We're not going to promote hate speech, so because we think probably that's not what people want to hear.
Well, I think the other thing is that it doesn't stop you from coming out as you have and as I do on every possible forum and condemn condemn anti-Semitism. You know, it's just this collective hatred of a people. You say they have to be banished. They don't have a right to exist. They don't have a right to a state of their own, and so on. And the vile things that are said, I don't care if they come from the hard left or from the hard right or white supremacists or, I don't know, ultra progressives. For me, that's something that I condemn, and I think that it's important to come out. And that's quite a separate question. The condemnation is quite separate from the question of access. The one access idea that I have, and I don't even know if it's technically possible, is to prevent the use of, bots, armies of bots, to replicate and amplify it. So at least if you get a crazy guy and a hateful guy, let him be speaking for one voice rather than arming, an army of fake millions to do this.
Absolutely.